Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm Sophie Lyon.
And I'm Holly Angus. Here's what's coming up on the programme today.
Homelessness in Manchester decreases by more than 50%. We hear one man's story.
I just put food in my belly every single day, clothes, food, every single day.
Manchester has its buses back in control after 40 years of private ownership.
And Manchester's Moon Festival bringing communities together over 4 days of Chinese tradition.
Hello, good afternoon. Manchester ranks third highest in the country for people experiencing homelessness, according to reports by Shelter.
Salford and Manchester-based charity Two Brews helps those who need their support on the streets 365 days a year. Our reporter Katie Heath joined the volunteers to find out more.
It's grown so big in such a short space of time that we couldn't stop, and now we're out 7 nights a week, 365 days a year.
Christmas Day 2020 marked new beginnings for Dave and the team at Two Brews, the charity which dedicates their evenings to feeding the homeless on the streets of Manchester.
When we started in 2020, we started off bringing 40 meals a night out, and now we're bringing up to 100 meals a night and still running out.
Manchester has one of the highest levels of homelessness in the UK, with 1 in 74 people experiencing it in the city. The Greater Manchester Combined Authority has put in place a homelessness prevention strategy. It lays out a long-term vision to reduce the number of people finding themselves at risk of being homeless. Programmes such as A Bed Every Night, Housing First and the Social Impact Bond for entrenched rough sleepers have already made an impact, with the number of rough sleepers in the city decreasing.
I just put food in my belly every single day, clothes, food, every single day. Well, since I've been out of prison now, 2 years nearly, I've lost 4 stone in weight. If I wouldn't have been getting food off these, and I made absolutely every single day, I would have just deteriorated. I'd basically be lost without them.
Milk, yeah? It wouldn't be possible without each individual that dedicates their time to the charity.
I love doing it. Someone once asked me if I get paid for it. Now, I actually stopped and thought about it, and for me, my payment doing this is seeing smiles on faces when they get hot food and hot drink and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love doing it. I'm going to continue to do it for as long as possible.
We're getting to make a few friends with them, learn about their stories and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I just enjoy coming here. I only do it once a week, so it's not much for me to do, to come out and give a little bit of my time to people that need it more than I do, really.
Jack is in his final year studying social work and wants to do his bit in helping the community.
It's a great experience, seeing real life, lived experiences of the people, but then it also comes down to helping people and just doing your bit part of society, because the world's quite rubbish. Bringing a smile to the people's faces, and bring a smile on my face as well.
Dave shared what his mission is.
It's just to help people really, and the less fortunate people than you. And I'd love nobody to be sleeping on the streets of Manchester, but that's never ever going to happen. Homelessness will never go away.
Katie Heath, Quays News.
For the first time in nearly 40 years, Manchester has its buses back in public ownership.
The B Network launched on Sunday and plans to create a fully integrated transport system across the city. Our reporter James Young has more.
It's lift-off for Burnham's B Network as Manchester finally gets his buses back in public ownership for the first time in 40 years. This is the result of years of arguments between Manchester City Council and the government, and was one of Andy Burnham's main priorities when he became Mayor of Greater Manchester in 2017.
The first places in England outside of London to see buses go back under public control.
The idea is to make a more integrated public transport system similar to the one in London. The council will set the fare and the prices and will also control the timetables, whereas the bus companies before used to do that. Now they're being given the buses to run and then they'll run for the tender. It's a similar situation to how they have in London with the buses there, with how it's a more integrated system with Transport for London. Andy Burnham wants people to use public transport more and ride more bikes, hence the name the B Network.
it's been spoken about and floated the idea for so long, and now finally someone is attempting to, take control, to try and pick up the baton and lead the way for others to follow. You can look at the example set by the likes of Wales and Scotland, and you really could see this potentially rolling out further because, without wanting to get too modern day truth seeker, so, ultimately there are different issues affecting those in London and in Westminster and those in the north of England and further afield. So to bring the control more sort of in-house and have people who are aware of the everyday issues affecting people in those areas and people who have experience of living through it, that really could be a net positive, and that could help so many people.
There are questions though over whether the passenger numbers will be worth the investments in the entire project. With the entire franchise system expecting to cost in the region of £130 million and fares still being kept at £2 for singles, it's a big risk for Andy Burnham's government. But it definitely is be here now for Burnham's bus network and devolution in Greater Manchester, and for his sake he won't be saying don't go away anytime soon to his master plan project. James Young, Quays News.
And there are big plans for the Greengate area of Salford, with talks of an abandoned site being transformed.
Our reporter Hannah Vaness has gone to find out more.
These abandoned arches behind me, once used as part of Manchester's railway in Greengate, Blackfriars area in Salford, are set to be transformed into vibrant new restaurants, bars, furniture manufacturers and bespoke glass and woodwork shops. The existing car park here will be transformed into a 72 square metre outdoor seating area. This is all part of a £4 million redevelopment scheme by the Arch Company, aiming to bring 1,000 derelict sites in England and Wales into use by 2030. The plans for these arches were discussed on Thursday the 21st of September at Salford's Planning and Transportation Regulatory Panel. Salford City Council have identified this area of Greengate as a regeneration area. 309 occupying neighbours have already been informed of these plans. Some issues have been raised concerning possible noise levels, with late night drinking, antisocial behaviour and disturbance to the flats nearby. But an assessment has found that noise disturbance will be low and all concerns looked into.
Manchester Chinese community have been celebrating the Moon Festival to mark the end of autumn harvest.
Our reporter Ewan O'Leary attended the festival and has more.
Northwestern weather, but Chinese culture on the streets of Manchester. The Manchester Moon Festival was able to return this weekend, bringing all of its tradition along with it. It's Manchester that hosts the most Chinese residents of any local authority in England, with 3.4% of people living here. The 4-day festival hosts food, drink and traditional dancing on a day that is just as popular in the Far East as Chinese New Year.
Basically, the Moon Festival is like this end of the season. They will collect all the, for example, the vegetable or the something they like in the farm, and then they will get them together, and then they will share the joy.
Lord Mayor Yasmin Dar, a woman of Asian descent herself, also attended the festival on the Sunday. As its place in the year is dictated by the lunar calendar, it can fall in different places on the English calendar, and the Queen's passing last year, just a day before the festival, forced it into cancellation. It was back again this year though, and many stalls were back up and running.
What do I do in my shop, right? We sell some Chinese food and something favourite for English people as well. Our salt and pepper is very common.
It's a celebration of togetherness, and plenty of people from different cultures were there to enjoy the afternoon. In a population that was increasingly isolated during the coronavirus pandemic, events like this can hopefully rebuild those bridges between communities. Ewan O'Leary, Quays News, Manchester.
The GMP have seized £80,000 worth of vapes in Greater Manchester that have all contained more than the legal limit of liquid in the chamber. We have asked the people of Salford how they feel about this.
Well, I used to vape quite a lot, disposables, and I support it because I think it's good for the environment. Like, if I look back over all the vapes that I've smoked over the years, like, the amount of plastic pollution is just horrendous.
and I don't vape, so I'm not really clued up on it all, but I've read things like there's all sorts of metals in the vapour and things like that, like nickel goes in your lungs and stuff.
I'm not too sure really, but I think it's probably a good idea in the long run. You know, a lot of people don't know the long-term effects of it. And
Media City's first ever student takeover night is happening right now. Students at local universities can head down to get their hands on food, drinks and discounts that will hopefully bring a younger demographic to the Quays.
Our reporter Ebony Bailey is at the Lowry outlet to tell us more.
I'm here at Media City, where the very first student takeover is taking place, with the opening of Central Bay, an absolute foodie paradise, over 50 different offers from all the businesses here, and so much fun going on. This event is shining a brand new light on what's to come for Quayside Media City. I'm here with Samson, owner of House of Habisha, one of the amazing food spots. How are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So tell us, we're dying to know, what is that amazing cuisine that you're serving up?
Well, I've got something special.
Oh, wow.
This is an Eritrean Ethiopian food. So obviously the name of House Habisha comes from the East African region. So like Sudan, Somalia, Djibouti, so just to unify people. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. And tell me, what made you occupy a stall in Cargo Market?
Well, that's thanks to Matt and Nina. They've been pushing and following me around when I used to trade at some of the markets in Manchester, and they really loved the food. They thought it would bring quite a unique type of food into the cargo, and yeah, it's good.
Nice. And how has business been here over the last few weeks with the opening of Cargo Market?
Really, really good. It's over what I expected, and it's really good. The locals seem to love it, and also we've been nominated of Best Food Trader as well last year, and then again this year as well. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So what is in the plan, the future plan of House of Habisha? What is in the plan?
Yeah, just I want people to try the food around UK. So maybe having small stalls around UK, probably. Yeah.
That's amazing. So that is what one of the businesses had to say. We are also here with one of the amazing organisers of this whole event, Rosie Lloyd. How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
So great to be here. How did you come up with the whole idea of a student takeover in Media City?
So Media City is a hotspot for talent. We've got University of Salford here, we have the University of Football opening this week. We've just got a thriving community and there's always something going on. We've got such a buzz here around site, so we just wanted to bring awareness.
Yeah, that is true. Tell me, how long has it been in the works for this whole thing?
So it's been in the pipeline for about a year, but we started working on it hard 6 months ago.
Oh wow, so a long time. Did you pick which sort of businesses would be joining you here?
We actually opened it up to the whole of the site, so any business could get involved in it. We're all about that community feel, so we want the smaller businesses and the larger businesses involved.
Great, that is so amazing for the community of Manchester then. And what do you expect to come from events like this in the future?
Well, Media City is just a great place to network. It's full of opportunities, so events like this is just ideal for students to get involved in.
That's true. It sounds like something that is really benefiting the people of Manchester. If you haven't had a chance to come down and support, make sure you do. The vibes are absolutely immaculate. You've been listening to Ebony Bailey on Salford Now. Back to you guys in the studio.
It looks like a great night, but will the weather hold up?
Let's find out with Amna.
Storm season is upon us, with Storm Agnes being the first to take the stage. The Met Office has issued a yellow weather alert and is urging people to stay safe tomorrow till Thursday morning. Heavy rain and winds up to 50 to 60 metres per hour make their way through the north before moving south later this week. Whilst temperatures stay moderate at 19 degrees, you should be wary of thunderous showers and strong winds in Salford. There is expected to be disruption to roads, public transport, including airports, trains and buses across the city. Make sure to stay warm before leaving your homes. Thank you. Back to the studio.
That's all for Quays News this week. Make sure to join us again next Monday.
Goodbye.